You would think so. This doesn't look massively quick from Razin coming out of the final corner, but it does go second fastest, just ahead of GB, so a good final sector. There is a McLaren coming around as well, potentially to start another flying lap. Which one is that? I think that is F1 Scott, who is going to be going again. Currently holding 6th position, so or obviously doesn't think he's safe.
I don't think he does. I think anybody knows if they're safe at the moment, maybe apart from Bushy Ants. No one else will get an opportunity to start a hot lap, though, so this is do or die. Now, that guy Vince P8, but I don't think that's going to be safety quite yet, as everybody else will continue to improve. Mercedes coming around the corner, that will be Dark Viper. Massive wobble through the final corner. Can he improve? No, P11 is where he will stay. Diving into the pit lane is Sir Dogan. He's not going to go faster. Team and Marduk through the final corner. He's not going quicker. 18 seconds off his delta. Behind him, one of the Red Bulls.
Who's in trouble? Reigning champion El Guri yet to get a time on the board. T. George 15th at the moment, jumps up into 9th position. Hayden Gullis is disqualified. He's parked in the middle of the road. Watch out, everybody, piling down into turn 14. Who else do we need to look out for? Lolinoba now finds themselves down in the bottom 5, along with Formula Kai, who's under pressure as Lolinoba jumps into 3rd place. Who are we looking at? El Guri. Little bit of traffic. There's an RB just getting out of the way. The reigning champ under serious pressure.
I think that was the ghosted car of Hayden Gullis parking exactly in the braking zone that he needed. Can El Guri pull this out of the bag as he rounds the final quarter? Surely this will be safety, and it's 7th fastest for the reigning champion. He's just saved it at the final time of asking, but as things stand, unless Infratic can go quicker, which I don't think he's going to do enough across the line. No, he hasn't improved. He's 5 seconds quicker, but not quick enough. Our 4 drivers that are out will be Dark Viper, Infratic, Alex Gillen, and Hayden Gullis, and of course Matty D, who joined the lobby right at the end there. They are indeed up towards the line. I think El Guri just, no, I don't think he's going to be able to get a lap time in. It was his teammate T. George just being able to start their final runs. We'll wait for that checkered flag to fly. It's an invalidated outlap. It's 2 seconds. It's not going to be enough. El Guri will not be able to go again.
Big trouble. Ricky yet to set a time. Razin, Lolinoba, Nagera, GB, T. George as well. The reigning champion and Formula Kareem, the favourite coming out of Q1, could find themselves taking an early shower. Blackmere currently holding 10th place, going for it again in the only RB car remaining. Bit of a wobble through the final corner. Is that going to put him out of kilter? Remains 10th fastest, doesn't improve. Lolinoba finding a 1/4 of a second through the first couple of sectors. Can he jump up inside the top 10? The reigning F2 champion goes 3rd fastest.
Yep, he does indeed. He's managed to secure safety at the moment. Can his teammate follow him through up towards the line? P5 could be enough to see him into safety. Naguera is a 1.5 seconds quicker through the sector. Purple in the 2nd sector as well. Can he make his way through to the final qualifying session? Yes, he can. 3/10 quicker than anybody else at the moment. GB68 now with an almighty job to do to get out of Q2. This is do or die for the Welshman.
El Guri is going to fall by the wayside here, I'm sure of it. Razin Chai, T. George and GB to come. Here comes the Aston Martin round the final corner to kick El Guri out of qualifying, and he does it by some distance as well. The reigning champion starting at best 11th, and now Formula Kareem could get knocked out by Razin Chai in the Scuderia Ferrari car. Formula Kai is going to improve to jump up to 2nd. One Williams car is safe. Can T. George knock the other one out along with his teammate El Guri and Formula Kareem both out of the session?
Yeah, Razin Chai dives into the pit lane as well. He's not going to be able to go quicker, so Formula Kareem, El Guri, Sir Dogan, Blackbeard and Razin Chai all out in Q2 here. That guy Vince saved by 1.5 tenths of a second. But Formula Kareem, who's looked so quick over the last 2 qualifying sessions, oh my goodness, out at the 2nd time of asking.
How does the Aston Martin fare? Negotiating turn number 14. Late on the brakes, bit of a lockup. Doesn't trouble the apex, but rotates the car absolutely beautifully. And up through the kink of turn number 15 into the final corner of 16. Don't want to make a mess of it now. Throw it all away right at the end. Doesn't invalidate over the curves. What's it going to be? It's a 32.3.
Yep, 32.3. Keep an eye, though, on Team Marduk. Purple 1 and 2 at the moment for the McLaren. Also getting an almighty tow from the Haas that stands in front of him. And I wonder if this actually could hold him up in towards the hairpin. Which Haas is that going to be? Is it going to be Ricky or is that going to be Lolinoba? It's going to be Lolinoba that stands in front of the Aussie. And I think that could have run him wide. Or is that coordinated between Lolinoba as he goes very deep in towards the hairpin? Team Marduk with the almighty helping hand from the Italian.
How much money has changed hands there? Tiamat Marduk with the best slipstream I've ever seen and smashes provisional pole by over 1.3 seconds. It's a 30.7. Must have been on brand new tyres. Lolinoba doing him an absolute solid down the back straight. The reigning champ, or the championship leaders, sorry, with a fantastic lap.
Wow, I have never seen inter-team slipstream like that before. Lolly Nova. I think there's definitely been something happening under the table. Hopefully only money. But we'll continue through. T. George across the line. P5 at the moment. Quicker than GB68. Rounds the final corner now to Guerra. He's going to go up to P2. About a second off what Tiamat Marduk can do at the moment. And this is looking like a very strong qualifying session for the Australian.
Hopefully this is a two-way thing and Tiamat Marduk returns the favour for Lolinoba in the second half of this qualifying session. Formula Kai, purple to the middle sector, has been rapid in this qualifying session. His teammate, who was equally as fast, may have fallen by the wayside right at the death of qualifying 2. But Formula Kai flying the flag for the Williams team. Can he get himself potentially onto the front row?
Well, purple 1 for Formula Kai, not quite purple 2, as we have another Haskar giving slipstream here in towards the hairpin. This time around it will be Ricky. I think this is not as intentional. No, it is completely intentional. Look, Ricky's gone off of the hairpin again.
Isn't everybody so nice? We've got such camaraderie as everybody works together. Formula Kai rounds the final corner. What can that beautiful blue Williams do? Up to the line we go, cutting the beam, and he's only half a tenth down on Tiamat Marduk.
Yeah, purple for F1 Scott in the second sector. Purple, though, for Formula Kai in the first sector. As we continue through this session, it's going to be incredibly close as the checkered flag does already start to fly. Keeping an eye on F1 Scott. It's actually not purple in the second sector, according to my data. It's 2.5 tenths off what Tiamat Marduk did in his first set of runs. But we'll keep an eye on the McLaren nonetheless in towards the hairpin. But I think the track has started to cool down from the opening runs that we saw a few moments ago.
GB following Tiamat Marduk very closely. Meanwhile, in the middle sector, you can just see it in the bottom right on the track map. Can F1 Scott get himself onto the front row? He misses it by a tenth and a half. He's third at the moment. Massive slide through the final corner for Lolinoba. What can the reigning F2 champion do? He goes up to fourth.
Does indeed. Tiamat Marduk's retired in the third and final sector. One of mechanical issues there for the McLaren, or a little bit of overconfidence. But Shiant's P3. Noguera will be next around the corner. I think that guy Vince following him through. Where can Noguera go fastest this afternoon? That guy Vince across the line, only P7. The Williams and Formula Kai missing out by 0.03 of a second behind him. Ricky in the Haskar P7 for himself. Two more drivers to put laps in. T. George trying to do Mr. Dale proud. He's half a second up on his lap, and GB68 will come round the final corner. Can T. George do it? Across the line he'll come. P7 for himself. GB at the final time of asking. He's gone quickest. I'm fairly sure of it.
By 0.2 of a second as well. And it's the Aston Martin on pole. If this is the best chance for GB to get a win, he started off absolutely perfectly, leaving it late, but getting the lap in. Maybe a little bit of help from Tiamat Marduk in the end. But it's GB versus Noguera on the front row. Two drivers yet to get a win in the Creator Series, along with the reservist Formula Kai, who's been absolutely rapid. Championship leader Tiamat Marduk in the end bumped down into fourth, with Bushiantz putting on a very solid display in fifth as well.
But we have got lights on the board, ladies and gentlemen, and in very wet China, the lights go out and we go racing, and it's a tentative pull away from all of our drivers. And please give us a camera angle at the front of the grid. And there we go, it's GB who continues to hold on to the front of the grid, and Noguera and Formula Kai who's trying to swing it round the outside of turn 1. He'll have the inside line for turn 2. Can now Williams try and make his way through? He's still bumping and racing his way through. Formula Kai is up past Noguera.
Using the advantage of those wet compound tyres as they appear from the gloom coming out of turns 3 and 4. It's still GB in the Aston Martin leading the way. We've got a yellow flag. Sert Dogan is facing the wrong way. Tiamat Marduk with a huge wobble as he battles away with Noguera. And this, the Alpine coming a cropper. Dark Viper's had a bit of a whoopsie down there as well. Formula Kai flying on the wet tyres. GB, no grip, traction or confidence, loses the race lead.
Certainly is indeed. The Williams still leads, and the other Williams of Formula Karim tries to dive down the inside on Ricky. He's going to make it stick in towards the hairpin. He's more confident on the tyres, even though both drivers sharing the intermediates. Everybody piles their way through, and I'm very surprised we haven't had a red flag. And we have got a VSC, though, and I think someone is around. Sir Dogan has taken a bit of a wobble.
Alex couldn't take control of his car. Not ideal at all. A Dark Viper with a 10-second penalty for a collision with Infratic. And a lot of drivers diving into the pit. So is that all going to be for front wings? Alex Gillen's AI, I believe that is, into the box, along with Blackmere, Razin Chai and Dark Viper.
Yep, intermediates versus wets, looking for any and all traction they can find out of the penultimate corner. GB running wide in the final corner. Could this open up an opportunity for Timo Marduk into turn number 1? He set the fastest lap of the race so far, but I think the McLaren will just sit and be patient and wait. But I think about it, he's going to go for a switch back into turn 1. They are side by side. They're 2 abreast into the opening 2 corners. They are being blocked off by the Williams of Formula Kai. Timo Marduk and GB, we've seen this tale as old as time. And it is the Australian that tries to swing around the outside, but does he have enough grip?
Door closed firmly by the Aston Martin of GB. There was definitely some bumping and grinding going on. And GB thinking attack is the best forward defence as he lunges it up the inside into turn number 6. Slams the anchors on. He has the lead of the Grand Prix. Can Formula Kai retaliate on the exit with more grip on those wet compound tyres? They're going to be side by side down into the long turn number 7. But the Williams backing out of it.
Yeah, the rain's certainly looking lighter here at the moment. You can see the spray not quite as drastic as we saw from this race start. And I wonder if the intermediates are starting to come into a world of their own. The drivers that started on the green wall tyres will have to have taken that punishment in the opening 3 or 4 laps of racing. But now the tyres will start to come back into their favour. Timo Marduk down the inside in towards the left-hander. I don't know how much he's got to give, but I don't think he's got enough to try and get past the Williams there. But the switchback could be on. But Timo Marduk down the inside he goes, and the Australian is up to P2.
Yeah, got to be careful you don't put those hards on. It's effectively a drive-through penalty for our drivers. Look at the grip that El Guri has got. The 2 drivers in front on those wet compound tyres. Makes light work of Bush Yamps on the track with the Alpine going for a bit of a wobble on the exit. Going to be 2 for the price of 1 for the reigning champion. He's going to attack Formula Kai down into turn number 14. We're going to have a pass for the lead though because Tim McMarlick pulled over to the outside line. He's going to try and go around the outside of GB and the Aston Martin defenceless into the braking zone.
Yeah, couldn't quite work it out that time around. Aguera getting past Bushy Yance as well. The intermediates really falling into their own ballpark here this afternoon as the Alpine continues to suffer down to P6. Lolly Noba and Formula Karim will try and get through as well as Timo Marduk sets the fastest lap of the race. El Guri going for a move from Formula Kai here into turn 1. And El Guri, of course, last season's champion on an almighty comeback from a poor qualifying.
Box office battles, who's going to play their joker, who's going to play their ace card. It's very, very close between the pair of them. They've come to blows multiple times over the years in the Creator Series. It's El Guri over to the right-hand side. Is Tim McMahon going to squeeze him over? He's trying to get a bit of slipstream from GB to defend. Is attack the best forward defence? Bit of wheel banging going on down into the braking zone. Ben later on the brakes. El clatters into the side of the Papaya McLaren car, scrabbling for grip on the exit. A big squeeze applied again by the reigning champion to his Australian. And into the pits goes GB, and into the pits goes El Guri.
Fascinating stuff here. 2 drivers into the pit lane. I think El Guri wanted to move in the pit lane. He barely gets the car stopped as Timo Marduk sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here in Shanghai. That's what I meant to say, not Singapore. And let's see what tyres everybody is going to go on to. Of course, hard tyres still banned in the Creator Series. They are not allowed to use them, and they have 3 laps to pit off them if they do so go on to. So it will be the softs or the mediums pretty much enabled for every single driver. As DRS becomes enabled, the track is well and truly dry again.
And El out on his own on the soft compound tyres. Everybody else favouring the yellow stripe mediums. I have to say, this is absolutely electric stuff. Formula Kai's put the hard compound tyres on, though. Absolutely cataclysmic error, catastrophic to his race. That's effectively a drive-through penalty. He has 3 laps to get those tyres off, but that's a real race ruiner for someone that was looking so quick and it was so positive. And obviously, the driver that I backed to win this race has now made a complete Horlicks of it.
On the kick, Sauber, who's looking rather racy with a fresh set of tyres booted on, as GB68 El Guri going wheel to El Guri on the soft tyre, making his own sort of moves, making his own sort of music here in China. You all at home, but unfortunately you'll have to just imagine a massive 0 on your screens under wins for GB68. Timo Marduk and Formula Krim, of course, still closing in, and TB wants to try and get the race done here. He's alongside and ahead before the DRS even became a factor, and El Guri will have to play second fiddle at the moment. Formula Krim follows the moves of the Aston Martin in front of him. He's up into the podium positions.
For Williams, the Formula Cream, very quick coming out of turn 13.
Yeah, he is, and he's already alongside when that DRS becomes active, and I think everybody has it, but El Guri, who looks so strong on the straights in the previous run, especially in the wet weather conditions, seems to be a little bit lost here at the moment, even with DRS, and I wonder if that's more because he has such a quick straight line speed with setup. When that rear wing opens, the differential is not as great as he once thought.
Formula Cream, though, on the move and in the groove as this is opportunity to lead the race on lap number 19. GB with absolutely nothing that he can do. No DRS for the Aston Martin. Chopping in front of the green car is the Williams. And Formula Cream is your new race leader.
Yeah, Alray's had an amazing drive through course. He's up to P4. He's pipping out Lolly Noba there. And that's the undercut that has really worked out for him. I wonder if he's extended them long enough, if Guri will have to pit again before the end. Timo Modic, where's he going to come out of the pits, just pulling away from his pit box there? He's going to be passed by a considerable number of drivers. He's back behind Hollywood, and he's back behind his teammate.
A heroic strategy like Meraki did at Australia a few seasons ago. Blackmay's out, but that's
safety car.
Oh, we do have a safety car. We do have a safety car.
I thought that was in the pits. No, it's on the pit wall there on the right.
Wow. Wowzers. So, yeah, that's Scupper's teammate Marduk, who was goal hanging for a safety car cleared, and now that has gone completely out of the window because 2 or 3 laps after he pitted, we've got the safety car.
Okay, so here's the safety car. Pulls off in towards the pit lane, and it will be the Aston Martin that will lead us away to go racing for lap 35 of 56. 22 lap sprint till the end of the Grand Prix. His foot goes to the floor, the lights will go green, and the British Racing Green Aston Martin will lead us through from Kareem, from Timo Modic, from Guri, and it's any bets which way this is going to go.
Bit of a gap back between Hollywood, Hayden Gullis to Ricky. Not a particularly good restart for the RB car, F1 squad, and particularly Alex Gillen will be trying to lap up that little error from Hayden on the restart. There is Alex Gillen having a little look around the outside of F1 squad, almost clattering into the rear of that McLaren car because he's got so much more grip and confidence, but still in 11th at the moment. Formula Kareem very close to the back of GB. Maybe thinking about a move up the inside, darts over to the middle of the circuit. Is he going to be brave on the brakes? Little look up the inside, bit of a tentative lunge from the Williams car, still side by side on the exit, but GB is going to hold station. Cream almost pushing GB through 11, 12 and 13, saying, come on, get on with it as we get onto the straight. Is this going to be an opportunity to get the lead back? Not using any ERS, just using the setup that he's got, the lower wings potentially and the slipstream to try and pull him towards the Aston Martin of GB. Dives out towards the inside, and that is going to be the lead of the race.
Yeah, fantastic move from Karim. Used the extra straight line speed afforded to him by his setup, and he's up to P1. And of course, a little bit of a mistake out the hairpin, but nothing to write home about as the Williams will take us over the line onto lap 36 of 56, 21 to go. And that's very wide out of the corner from Bushy Jans and someone else in the background. I think that was T. George going wide.
Here comes GB around the outside. Formula Cream, nothing he can do. He won't want to lose out to the reigning champion, but I think he might. Guri sniffing up the inside of Formula Cream. Will the Williams back out, trying to switch back on the exit as the sun begins to poke through the clouds. Kareem not very happy with that at all as he jiggles that wheel in frustration, losing a couple of places. Oh, he was trying to keep his front wing alongside there. Nolin Oberon a little bit wide for Nagera, slams into the side pod of the Mercedes car and can't quite get that position back. Tim McMahon still very much there, as is Alex Gillen. When are we going to see the box office battles between Gillen and Ben Daly? I'm sure we'll see it very shortly. Up the inside into turn 11 goes Tim McMahon trying to push Lolin over down. Another position. Alex Gillen, a very winning spectator at the moment. Big slide on the exit. Could that allow Gillen to get up into 6th place? He's got the overspeed around the outside, but will have to go the long way around. Will Lolin over just chop off the front wing of that kick salver? Yes, I think he has.
Yeah, I think he has indeed. I think he's going to try and defend, but attack Tim McMahon at the same time. They're still wheel to wheel. Are we going to see 3 wide in towards the hairpin? Surely not this time around. Gillen late on the brakes. He can't get the car stopped, and he's gone deep.
Nagera starting to make moves now up the inside of Formula Kareem, potentially Guri as well, down into turn number 14. Will Kareem be left the space on the outside? He's got the traction on the exit to try and hold it around the outside and maintain 3rd position, that final spot on the podium. I think Kareem has a bit of damage there.
I think he might do. He ran very wide out of that final corner. Yeah, front left end plate missing for that Williams. I wonder where this has gone. So this could open the door for GB68 to get his first ever win as Guri swoops around the inside of turn number 1. This is where the analysts will come into their own. Who wants to be leading onto this final lap, on towards that final back straight? Because I think whoever is leading onto that back straight will not get the race win.
It must explain why we missed it, because it had some chaos going on at the back and the front of this DRS train, although he's doing a fantastic job to keep himself in touch and maybe deciding he's going to have to go for it now. We've got a yellow flag. We're going to be 3 wide, are we? Alex Gillen pulling out. Nagera pulling out.
More
Kareem
damage.
Places, more contact, more front wing. I think that's Kareem again, losing end plates and carbon fibre confetti being thrown up. Alex Gillen battling away with Tim Malik in the background as well. Box office between this pair. Who's going to come out on top? Gillen going off the circuit. There's an Aston Martin off as well. I think that was GB going wide.
I think it was indeed. Gillen had to give that move, position back to Lolly Noba as he went wide out of the final corner. Lolly Noba wants to move here on Formula Karim through turn 1 and 2. I think he actually wants it on GB round the outside. And apparently GB68 also has damage on that Aston Martin front left end plate. I think is missing. We'll try and get confirmation of that. Definitely not missing the front right as him and Formula Karim still going wheel to wheel. There we go. Front left missing for GB. Razin Chai retires on the pit wall. We've got a safety car with 3.5 to go.
I think they all are staying out. Tiamat Marduk into the pits along with Alex Gillen. Wow, these two making a late decision to come in. Gillen nearly taking out Tiamat Marduk, thinking about a move Sebastian Vettel style into the pits. They're going to lose a load of places, this duo, though.
Yeah, the rest of the pack is rather close as Matty D also coming in, and Fratic stays out. I'm going to watch a ball with Gillen, see exactly where he's about to come out, because he's not even gone into his pit box yet. It's too late, almost certainly with just 2 laps to go. Gillen's jumped
and he's
in.
ahead of Tiamat Marduk. Wow, Ben is going to be absolutely seething.
So the Red Bull will have to go nice and slowly weaving to get some heat into the already damaged tyres, and he does put his foot to the floor. The lights will go green and we will go racing once again here in China, and Elray Guri leads us away.
2-lap shootout to the end. Alex Gillen is already on the move in the background, getting up into 10th place at the expense of the Red Bull of T. George. Tiamat Marduk we're going to try and follow the kick Sauber through. It's Delray from Nogueira from GB, your podium places. F1 Scott battling away with Infratic. That gives Alex Gillen potentially another position. Tiamat Marduk snibbling at the heels of all of them as well, trying to pick up 3 places potentially. It's 3 wide. That's going to be carnage, surely. Tiamat Marduk fighting through the pair of them, and contact with Infratic, sorry, almost ends up in the barrier.
Amazing stuff we're seeing from Alex Gillen here. The fresh tyres really paying dividends to what he has done. And there we go. We've got the DRS-enabled Gillen up to P4 already. He's dispatching Formula Karim. He's got GB68 standing in front of him. Round the outside, the kick Sauber goes. The fresher tyres really paying dividends. The trust and the respect that he had in his pit strategy is coming all together now. Nogueira and Elray Guri, the only 2 drivers that stand in front of him. Alex Gillen with an almighty pit strategy. With just 2 laps to go, we head into Sector 2. Can Gillen chase down Nogueira and Elray in the final few runnings? 24 laps they've had those medium tyres on.
Kimi Raikkonen in Japan. Jenson Button in Canada. Down the inside, it was Alex Gillen. He was way too ambitious trying to get past Nogueira, and he's thrown it away. Surely he was going to win the race.
Almost certainly, he was looking incredibly quick. Yellow flags further back. This could open the door for Tiamat Marduk, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to try and mount a charge. Elray Guri handed a lifeline, but keep your eyes peeled here for Nogueira. The weaving begins as we head on towards the final straight. Can Nogueira get his first ever race win here in the F1 Create Series? The rear wing is open on the Mercedes. Down the inside, almost certainly he's got to send it now. He's got to be late on the brakes. He's not quite close enough. Further back, GB Lolly Nova having a good battle with Formula Karim, but we'll go back to the race lead here. Elray Guri is almost certainly going to get it unless Nogueira can get something through the final corner. On track it's going to be Elray Guri that gets the win by 171 thousandths of a second.
Wow, Alex Gillen's going to come home in 8th place after that. Wow, wow, wow. It's Elray Guri, the reigning champion, going back-to-back in the Creator Series. Brazil down to China, and the reigning champion with 2 wins this season. Tiamat Marduk, after all of that, ends up on the podium. GB in 4th, Lolin over 5th, Formula Karim 6th, and Hollywood ending up in 7th.